Oh, hi there. Welcome. I am the Daisy Switch, but fine is Daisy. Lately, I've been staying at my boyfriend's, who doesn't have much kitchen tools or kitchen utensils, which has been quite a challenge for me as a cook. Like I had to, for example, measure out my yeast with a teaspoon because we only had like a big pack of yeast, which was enough yeast for 2 kilograms of flour. And I'm not making my bread by 2 kilograms of flour, so that was fun. But most importantly, it brought some perspective for me on what the craft is about and on how I practice and how I see a lot of people practice or how they feel they need to practice. And that is with tools. And yes, the tools are useful. But are they always necessary? Is the comfort that they bring you necessary? It's comfort. Some tools are indeed necessary. Like you can't brew tea without a cup to brew it in. You need something to drink it out of. But do you need a fancy cup? Or do you need those cups with like a cover? Or those cups on which you have a little thing to hold your tea bag? They are comfort. Or sometimes they're just there for the look, but they are not necessary. So today in this video I thought we could go over, the basics of witchcraft. Going back to the basics, to a simpler craft, because you don't need it to be complicated. So I already introduced with tools. Tools are helpful, I'm not gonna deny that. Some tools are necessary. You need something to boil your water in order to drink your tea hot. It makes sense. But most of the time, and especially in the craft, they are not necessary. And I can't stress this enough, and a lot of people have already stressed it. I'm gonna link some videos and resources down below. But to practice witchcraft, you need nothing else than yourself. And when I say that, I mean it. You don't need tools. You don't need those candles, those athames, those whatever you could use. You can use them, they're gonna help, but they're not necessary. The tools are used to enhance your craft and your practice and your powers. They're not creating your potential, they're not creating your energy, they're enhancing it. And sometimes even the simplest spells work better than the more complicated ones with a lot of tools and materials. Something that makes the tools so enhancing to your craft is something that I'm gonna call a ritualization. Basically, the tools help you to make a ritual out of your spell work. And this ritualization is actually it's a physical projection of your craft, of your spell work. And the physical projection of your work is what enhances your work by making it more tangible for you. Since you can feel it better, since you can see it, you are unconsciously gonna make it stronger. You are unconsciously gonna doubt it less than if you didn't have tools. That said, again, the tools tools are necessary. They have energies of their own. I'm not gonna deny that. Like a candle is gonna bring a different energy from, like, I don't know, something else, like a sigil. But ultimately, it's your energy, it's your spell work. And the fact that you create the spell work into the physical realm helps you visualize your spell and manifest in the way that you've created it in the physical world already. It's here, it's tangible. You can touch it, you can see it. Which means that it's gonna work too in the spiritual realm. It's gonna work in ways that you can't see because you see it working. Like, you see it. And that brings to another point of the tools. It's to focus. Focus your energy and your attention into manifesting. Since the tools are physical, it's easier to manipulate them than just manipulate your energy or visualize. And it is really helpful. There's more to it than just the placebo effect of having the physical move, the physical, how can I say that? The physical projection of your spell. It's more than just a psychological effect, but it's a strong part of it. If you don't need the tools, then what do you actually need to practice? Well, the answer is simple. Nothing. What you need to practice witchcraft is energy, and that energy, you have it in yourself. The energy that you're gonna put into your craft, into manifesting and empowering your life, you have it within you already. It's yours. Yes, of course, you can use different, you can call in external energies to help and enhance your spell work, such as tools, deities, the elements, the earth, planets, all those things, and a lot of more are gonna help you and enhance your spell work if used correctly. But they aren't necessary. They are help, a support, a bonus if you will, but they are not what makes your spell work. They are not what makes your craft. What makes your craft is yourself. So I've seen a lot of people say that the only thing that a witch or practitioner needs is their hands. And yes, but like, no, also. Again, visualizing your hands as your power tools is again a way to enhance your spell work by visualizing something physical, bringing energy in the physical realm. And you can use whatever part of your body or no part of your body. You can just visualize it. You can like do it with your feet if you want to, like kick the demons out of your rooms. That was a joke. I mean, you can do it, but like there's most likely no demon in your room. Anyways, what I mean is your craft is yours and your practice is yours, and the only thing you need to practice is yourself, because you are the source of energy. And it's up to you to decide how you're gonna use this energy, how you're gonna manifest it, how you're gonna project it. You don't have to do it with your hands if it doesn't call to you. But again, all you need is yourself, your own energy in your own body. But the tools are helpful. I can't deny that. So I dressed a sort of list of things that you could use as tools in your craft that are inexpensive, like you most likely have them on hand, accessible, you can get them anywhere. some ways that you haven't thought about yet. So, let's go back to basics. What do you need to practice? Paper and a pen. Yeah. Those are like the tools you might use the most if you're a traditionalist and still use paper. What you can do with it, you can draw sigils, write spells, draw spells. Yes, some people who can't access anything, who don't feel strong enough or who don't feel comfortable with just putting in energy into the void, they draw the spells. You can draw your candle with all the little herbs, and it's not less powerful, it's just different. You can draw an altar if you can't have one. You can draw offerings. I've seen a lot of people draw offerings, and I think that's really smart because it's not gonna perish. It's not gonna like get spoiled or anything. And you can even like hang it on your wall and hang your spells and your altar and your offerings and just make it look like art. And if you're in a broom closet, nobody will like question it. It's just beautiful stuff. And even if you're not good at drawing, I mean, if it's like a block for you, of course don't do it. Because if you draw it and it doesn't look like what you want and you don't feel like it's powerful or anything, well, it's not gonna work. So do it if you're comfortable with doing it, but I'm just giving you ideas. And yeah, like that's like a small portion of what you can do with it, with a pen and a paper. You can write your grimoire, you can do absolutely anything. You can even craft, like make those little tiny stars, like paper origami stars, and use them as spells. Like there's so many things that you can do with paper. The second thing you might need, and might come either complementary or switching with the paper, is your cell phone, laptop, tablet, or anything like that. First of all, if you have a drawing or notebook app on it, well, you can do all the things I already told you about that you could do with paper, but it's just on your little phone or your laptop or whatever. There are a few sigil generators. A lot of people use them. As long as you connect to the sigil you get, it's gonna work. And those are like really helpful, especially if you're not someone who's really creative or who wants to who has time to dedicate to drawing sigils. Besides those apps, there are a few magical apps here on the internet that you can get from like anywhere, most likely like Google Play and stuff like that. Anyways, there are apps for magical stuff. Like there are divination apps with tarot, oracles, yes/no answers like pendulums, all those kind of stuff. There are like I think there are even apps to learn those divination methods. There are apps for self-care, which is gonna help you in your practice, like self-care, dream journal, even planners or like diaries. Those are gonna help you. So you can make an altar in an app. You can like even find ways to make offerings. It's like really versatile. There's a lot of things out there. You just have to look for them. What else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, there are apps for crystals, apps for plants. There are apps for absolutely anything. Again, you just have to look at it to know what you want to use and look for it, basically. And most of those apps are like free. You just download them and poof, they're on your phone, and you have a little piece of practice into this little device that you put in your pocket. course, with the mobile device, like the electronics, comes the e-books and all those wonderful, like, internet searches possibilities for your research, because research is important and is a big part of your craft. And for example, like for deities, research can be an offering to them. I talk a lot on my channel about kitchen witchcraft. You don't have to make your own food to be a kitchen witch. Of course, it sounds a bit like obvious you're a kitchen witch, so your craft, the place you practice your witchcraft is in the kitchen, right? So your spell work is what you cook, what you prepare. Yes, but you don't always have access to that. And I've seen actually a few people, at least, who watch my videos and who tell me that they can't replicate my spells, my recipes, because they don't have access to the kitchen, or not the way they would want. Well, just enchant the food afterwards. You don't have to put in your energy through all the steps, or to even do the steps yourself. Of course, it's gonna be more potent if you do so, but it's not gonna work, and the other option will not. It's just gonna be a different result, and maybe more mild. Maybe you need to do that more often, but it doesn't mean it's not gonna work. So for example, a way that you could practice kitchen witchcraft, but without having access to a kitchen, it's just going out, having a snack with friends. You get, like, I don't know, a piece of cake, and you know some of the ingredients associations. Well, the piece of cake and its ingredients are just here waiting for you to activate them. They still hold their power even if they haven't been used yet. All you have to do is put in your energy, decide that this cake is magical, that it's gonna bring you what you need for it to bring you, and eat it. And you don't even have to say anything. No one has to see that you did witchcraft, that you did something. And that's the same thing with coffee, tea, or absolutely anything that you could want to enchant to consume as a spell work. You don't have to prepare it yourself. You just have to activate their powers before you eat them. What I mean is that magic is everywhere, and the ingredients for magic, they're already at your reach. You just have to see them, to realize that they're here, that they're ready for you to use them, and use them. That's as simple as that. You just go grab, is available to you, the food that's in your plate, the food that you grab after school, whatever it is, it's made out of something that you can utilize in your craft. Whether you show it or not, it's still there, it's still waiting for you to activate it. And it doesn't take more than you to activate it. Witchcraft isn't about the tools. It's about what you have on hand, and it's about finding ways to bring magic, or rather to see the magic where it is. It's about the little gestures that you do every day and that could be made magical. Cleaning your house? Well, why would you clean and cleanse when you can do both at the same time? Save time. Which is, back in the day, they didn't well, first off, they didn't have all those fancy aesthetic tools or beautiful aesthetic altars or whatever. They had what they had, and that's what they used. And when it came to their practice, they didn't go all the way and like dedicated this specific time of their day to it. They made it throughout the day. They mixed the magical and the mundane. When they cleaned their house with a broom, while they cleansed at the same time. When they made food, well, they didn't make food specifically to make a spell. They made the food the spell. They didn't separate things because they didn't have time or the energy to. They had to save their energy, and we did too. Doing things separately, like sectioning every part of your life and sectioning the mundane or physical with the magical and spiritual, it's not helping you. It's not making your craft more powerful. In fact, it's making you like lose energy because you're dedicating your energy to one thing and then you're sort of repeating it into something else. You're doing the same things over and over again. Just look at your days, look at your routines, look at what you eat, what's in your plate, what's in your cup, and look at how you can utilize that. Make it magical, make it part of your craft without bringing in new tools, because you don't need those tools. Tools are helpful. I'm not gonna deny that. I'm just saying that you shouldn't be dependent on them, and you should be mindful about what they bring you, how you depend on them, like why you use them, how you use them, what they bring to your craft, and how it enhances or maybe like even lessens your craft. Because when you focus on the tools, you forget to focus on your manifestation, on your intention, which can become a problem. Now, again, if you really want to use some tools, I've talked about ways you can implement magic into your everyday, like the paper, the cell phone, like the food. Like, I know not everyone can cook, not everyone likes to cook, not everyone can, like physically, like has access to a place to cook, but everyone eats. And the food you buy, there's other ingredients, and in the gestures you make every day, anything can be magical. And if you want to go further than what I already listed and what could be inspired by what I said, just use what you have, like they did back in the days. Look at what's around you. What can you use without having to spend money? Even if it's not aesthetic, who cares about the looks if it works? Look at what you have, what you can get, and how what you have and what you could get could work with your stuff, with your craft, how you could use them, why you would want to use them. Because again, what I'm trying to say is the only thing you need is yourself. The only thing that makes the spell works is yourself. The tools will enhance it, empower it, maybe make it quicker, more powerful, but it won't make it work fundamentally. It won't like activate it, because that's you, that's your doing. And nobody has a right to tell you that to practice you need this or you need to do this or to buy that. The only thing you need to practice witchcraft is yourself. It can get overwhelming, it can get very doubtful because like, what the hell am I doing? I'm not seeing right now, like I'm not doing anything, right? Right? But you are. Yes, you can't touch it, you can't smell it, you can't hear it. It's not tangible. still here. And you know, if you struggle with that, like with energy, work, or just working without your tools, in witchcraft specifically, something easy you can do is just rub your hands. Rub your hands like that, really quick. Do you feel the heat between your hands? That's energy. It's as simple as that. And if you struggle in your craft to put in energy or intention, just rub your hands, move around. Just create physical energy that you can feel like physically, and that's gonna help you. But that's not a tool. That's yourself. You are the source of the energy, and that's what matters. Alright, I think that's all I had to say. There's a lot of other things I could say about it, but it's your craft. Me telling you how to practice won't help you practice. It could inspire you, but I've already said a lot. And I've said some other things in my Instagram that I'm gonna link down below. You know, working without tools is a challenge, I'm not gonna lie. But I'm gonna challenge you. I'm challenging you to practice anything, mundane or magical, at least one thing, and do it without tools. Just try to do something without the tools you usually do it with, and reflect on that. What did it feel like? What were the hardships? How did you overcome them? How could you better overcome them? Like, did you feel the need for a tool? And why did you feel the need for a tool? What would the tool have brought you? Is it comfort? Would it have made the process possible or easier? And like, what's the end result? You know? Did it work in the end? Why? Or why didn't it? You know, just do something, find the little things in the everyday that can be made magical, because magic is everywhere. And challenge yourself. Change your perspective. Change your practice for the best. Because learning to work without the tools is gonna empower you so much. You'll see. Okay, just tell me in the comments what you thought, if you did it, how did you do it, what it brought you, what you felt, what you think of doing, or other ways that I didn't say that you think could be useful, like witchcraft without the tools. And yeah, leave a comment. Give it a like if you liked it, and if you want to give it a like. Share with a friend if you think they'd enjoy it, and let's go back to basics together.